Katie deGorter from Hackvengers. I have the honor of representing our team from Analytic Partners. Thanks, guys. Just to give everyone a little bit more color behind the challenge. So we were tasked with leveraging clustered non-personal data to find opportunities to improve digital marketing strategies at a local level, and also make decisions on where we can reduce physical catalog distribution, all while driving traffic and sales to Carrefour. The predictive component was to predict Q1 2019 sales for Carrefour, total and promoted sales, in the region of Bourgogne-Franche-Comté, excuse my accent, for each micro-region. So we had thousands and thousands, over 4,000 what they call iris regions. So for each of those regions, by store and by week. A little bit more color on the challenge here. You can see that catalog distribution for Carrefour is a nearly always-on strategy. So in almost every week, somebody's getting a catalog. And as Baptiste alluded to earlier, traditional marketing measurement techniques would struggle to really isolate the incremental effect of these catalogs from that kind of baseline volume. Some people might say a test and learn approach would work here, so whether it's a geo-test or an audience test to understand true incrementality. Those can be tricky to set up, and they take some time to wait for the test results to come back. What we created, our kind of elegant solution here, is an approach that provides immediate answers, so in a matter of hours, with readily available data sets. So nothing too complex here, really just looking at sales, marketing, catalog distribution, some seasonality trends. And while delivering very granular results, still providing that in a digestible and actionable set of recommendations that marketers can leverage and action on. And none of this is using customer-level information. So as those walled gardens increase, there's an opportunity to really lean into an approach like this going forward. So let me take you through how we did this. We started with predictive models. So looking at that really granular detail, we decided that machine learning was going to give us the best predictions and a lot of scalability and accuracy at that hyper-granular level. Now, what was key here is we didn't just run the predictions for 2019. We also ran a second version of the models where we eliminated the catalog distribution to understand what would the models predict would happen in the absence of catalogs. So that delta gave us an understanding of what is the incremental impact of catalogs for these thousands and thousands and thousands of iris regions. Once we had that really granular output, we then took a look at how could we identify meaningful patterns in all of those data points. So for that, we turned to cluster analysis and leveraged a lot of different data sets that we were provided, one of them including information from Wonderman. We started to uncover that there were some meaningful trends related to lifestyle, life stage, so the age of the consumer, and location, proximity to major metropolitan areas versus rural areas. And what was great is this data from Wonderman had segments already built that combined a lot of these indicators. So we were excited that the results were available in profiles that already existed, and we didn't have to reinvent the wheel in creating new clusters. And I'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. And then lastly, building explanatory models on these different geographic profiles to uncover more insights and optimization opportunities. So for these predictive models, we had very, very granular output, but we felt very comfortable with the results due to the strong predictive power. So you can see the actual and predicted for both the total and promoted sales, and you can see the RMSE score, we want that to be as low as possible, is really low for both the training, validation, and test sets. And in looking at all of that really granular output, you can see on the left here, those are all the thousands and thousands of iris regions in just this one region of France alone. And what you can see in the colors is the responsiveness to catalog distribution for those different clusters. So we have 10 different clusters as defined by the Wonderman data. And you can see there's also a lot of variation in responsiveness. So when there's variation, that means there's optimization opportunities. And we're really excited to see that. Now let's compare this highly granular response rates with Carrefour's current definition of priority groups. So they have 4 what they call forces, and these are groups of consumers that they're sending the catalogs to. And you can see the large majority of people are getting catalogs there in yellow. So with these really broad definitions, what this means is there's potential for missed optimization opportunities and potential for waste. With this really kind of granular view, we get more tactical in our decisioning. And the value from doing it at this level is really significant. I'm going to show you some numbers to help kind of quantify what that means. So first, let's start with looking at what would reducing catalogs do to sales. If we start with Carrefour's existing force definitions, they have opportunities to start eliminating some of those forces, reducing their catalog mailers, and we'll see some sales impact. But what's interesting, if they eliminate force D and E, that would represent a 7% decline in catalogs and a negligible impact on sales of only 0.2%. However, if we leverage our recommendations, leveraging the typologies that we've identified, we could actually eliminate 22% of our catalogs and see the same 0.2% sales loss. So a lot more savings there from eliminating all those catalogs that are going out. And to quantify just how impactful this would be, by eliminating those catalogs going to young urban techs, young low purchase, and young urbans themselves, this represents hundreds of millions of euros. If you look at the delta between the blue and the red line there, it may seem like a small percentage point, but given the size of Carrefour, that's hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars there. Euros, excuse me. And that's not including the savings from reducing the catalog footprint. What was really exciting is we also found that there's differences in response to digital as well. So there's a lot of opportunity, if you look in the blue corner here or green there, a lot of opportunity to really dial up digital for some of these geographic profiles. We didn't receive spend, but if we were able to overlay that, we could quantify exactly what that value would be. So what's next? We have those immediate opportunities to eliminate catalogs and increase digital support to obtain hundreds of millions of euros. In addition, opportunity to identify additional savings with deep dives into campaign timing, seasonality, and furthermore, expanding it globally and rolling it out across both the rest of France and other regions. And what's beautiful about this approach is it is very, very scalable. So if we wanted to expand this to the rest of France, we have what we need already. All we would need to do is map the remaining French irises to these typologies. For a global rollout, we need several hours maybe to rerun these machine learning models on the unique data sets and overlay any relevant profiles. And for other brands, again, just retraining the models, matter of hours.